is to approve the agenda for tonight. I'll entertain a motion for that.
I've approved the agenda for tonight.
Second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor? Passes unanimously. Second order of business is to review the minutes from our previous May meeting.
Approve the minutes from May 26th meeting.
Second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor? Passes unanimously. All right, first up on the tonight will be to consider requests for Karim Dahia, I'm sorry if I mispronounced the last name, to rezone 326 Highway 314, parcel number 0537051, from professional office to neighborhood commercial. Staff is all yours.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This project is located here at the north end of our city. It's at the intersection of New Hope Road and Highway 314. It used to be a Bank of America, but that bank has been closed for many years. And since that time, the property owner has considered multiple uses for it. He considered a gas station, a hotel, a restaurant, an urgent care center, and he settled on a banquet hall after some extensive community engagement. The banquet hall is not an allowed use in the professional office zoning district, so the applicant has requested to rezone it to neighborhood commercial where it is an allowed use. This is the proposed site plan. It has a 25-foot highway buffer here. There are some residences here, and the applicant is maintaining the 50-foot residential buffer between suburban residential and commercial. There is an existing driveway inside of that buffer. The applicant has done as much as possible to not disturb it anymore. The applicant has moved these proposed parking spaces to the other side of the buffer. The parcel here is zoned neighborhood commercial, so there isn't a buffer required. The applicant is planning to use the existing structure, and the drive-through here is going to be enclosed, and then there's going to be a small addition here. There is an entrance here that's going to be maintained on New Hope Road, and then there's a shared access here on 314, and then inter-parcel access with the adjacent business here. These are the proposed elevations. Staff did look at different floor plans with the applicant, and they have two options. The tables would be moved to accommodate who's going to be there. There was a proposed option for a classroom style seating and another one for a more family style seating. We did give this plan to the fire marshal, and preliminarily we're expecting that it could suit up to 280 people, but there are going to be interior renovation plans that need to be reviewed, and a specific occupancy is going to be determined after those plans are reviewed in more detail. This used to be a bank, and that's a different type of occupancy than the event center, and so there are some interior renovations that are going to be required. The applicant is planning to repurpose the existing building, and there are some minor changes. One of them is the interior, the drive-thru I mentioned earlier, that would be enclosed here. This project does align with our comprehensive plan. One of the key things that we wanted to do was to renovate and adaptively reuse existing shopping centers and commercial areas. That is something that we get from the community a lot about reusing existing buildings, so he is doing that. He does have interparcel access, and one of the things that's encouraged is reduced parking and shared parking. The applicant did work with us, and we looked at a lot of different parking analysis. The applicant is providing the maximum parking allowed per the UDO that we have at this time. Staff is recommending approval of this rezoning request because it does align with the comprehensive plan and strategic plan, and it is an adaptive reuse of an existing building. Of course, the applicant is going to be required to submit plans for a change of occupancy that have to be reviewed by the building official and the fire marshal. Staff will need to review any plans for exterior renovations. The site will need to have a dumpster and a dumpster enclosure that aligns with UDO standards, and it may be required for the applicant to move like some trees or some shrubs from the originally approved landscaping plan. Staff is requesting that if any trees or shrubs are removed, that they're either replaced on site or that the applicant contributes to the tree fund. And the applicant is here if you have any additional questions for them.
Thank you very much. Is the applicant here this evening? Please come forward if you have anything to add to what staff just mentioned.
Kareem and Emily, she's been working with me on the plans. And well, thank you for having us. And this building has been sitting for almost 5-6 years. We had attempted every possible thing from day one to lease it or sell it. So I'm in retail, had gas station plans, but definitely my first thing was, if you raise the building, build a new one, it's going to cost too much. So to put the existing building, we went to medical. We are trying to get some medical over there, dentals, but nothing came across. So I think so this would be a good asset to the community, and I think so people will enjoy this location, convenience, safety of it, and I think so we might be able to get more revenues from other cities and counties because it's right in that corner. I'm looking forward for all the support I can get to get a good event center down there.
Okay, thank you. We may call you back if the public has, or if the other commissioners have any questions.
Sure.
Thank you for that.
Sure.
At this time, we'll open it up for public comment. If anyone has any comments or questions, please step to the podium, state your name, your address where you live, and any questions or comments that you may have. Okay. Seeing none, we'll close public comments at this time, and now we will bring it up to the dais for the commissioners if you have any questions or comments for the applicant. No? Okay. No questions? All right. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I would motion that we approve the request to rezone 326 Highway 314, parcel number 0537051, from professional office to neighborhood commercial, based on the following conditions. The applicant would submit building permits prior to the interior renovation. They would also, prior to any exterior renovations, also submit plans for approval, and they also must have a dumpster and dumpster enclosure according for 1.13.b, and that they shall either replace shrubs and trees or donate to the city tree fund.
I second.
Properly moved in second. All in favor? All right. Passes unanimously. Good luck. Second on the agenda. At this time, we'll consider conceptual site plan and building elevation for Tomco Construction for Peachtree Medical Center. The property is located on Easterbrook Way, parcel number 053-010017. Staff, it's all yours.
Good evening. The applicant is proposing to construct a 3,200 square foot office building at the corner of Easterbrook Way and Cathy Avenue. The property is zoned neighborhood commercial and surrounded by other properties commercially zoned. It has a downtown core future land use map. Future land use map designation. The site is currently undeveloped with the exception of a curb cut on Easterbrook Way that they'll utilize to access the site. The site plan includes the required setbacks and perimeter buffer. They're proposing 19 parking spaces, which exceeds the minimum requirement. You'll notice there's already an existing sidewalk along Easterbrook Way. They're also proposing to add a 5-foot sidewalk between the building and the parking lot. No dumpster is shown on the site plan. However, it's unlikely they will need one. If they do need one, then they'll address it during site development plans. And it will have to meet the code section that was previously mentioned in the rezoning request. The building elevations, it's a 1-story brick building with a metal canopy over the entrance. The proposed brick is black and white stone wire-cut palmetto brick. The proposed elevations meet the design requirements listed in section 404.8 of the UDO. Staff completed a review based on the requirements listed in the UDO and found that the proposed project harmonizes with the surrounding area. It aligns with the strategic plan and the comprehensive plan, although additional access points for other means of transportation could further align with the comprehensive plan. So therefore, staff recommends approval with the following condition. That the developer shall connect the existing 5-foot sidewalk along Easterbrook Way to the proposed sidewalk between the front of the building and the parking lot, just to kind of make more access points. So that is all.
Okay, thank you for that. Is the applicant here this evening? If you'd like, you can come up to the podium and add anything you want. Okay, all right, thank you. At this time, we'll open it up for public comment. If anyone here has any questions or comments, please come up to the podium, state your name and your address where you live. Okay. We'll close public comment, and at this time, we'll bring it up to the dais for any questions or comments from the commissioners. No? Okay. All right. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
Vote that we approve the conceptual site plan on section 407.17.b of the UDO of the approved site plan and building elevations with the following conditions: that the developer shall connect the existing 5-foot sidewalk along Easterbrook Way to the proposed sidewalk between the front of the building and the parking lot.
Second.
Properly moved in second. All in favor? Okay, it passes unanimously. Good luck. Next on the agenda, we will consider preliminary plat and building elevation from DCCM for the park at Lanier. The property is located at 745 East Lanier Avenue, parcel number 0524026. It's yours.
Hello again. This project was originally presented to the Planning Commission in December of 2025 as a rezoning and future land use map amendment with a conceptual site plan and 3 variance requests. Those variance requests included reducing the minimum lot area to 126,000 square foot, reducing the minimum area per dwelling unit to 3,587 square feet, and reducing the rear setback to 20 feet. Planning and zoning approved the conceptual site plan with the conditions listed and supported the rezoning request with a favorable recommendation. City Council heard the rezoning request in February, and they approved both the rezoning request and the future land use map amendment with the conditions listed above. I want to go through these real quick just to kind of show you where we're at. The first condition, approval of conceptual site plan, schematic building elevations, and 3 variances is contingent on City Council's approval of the amendment to the future land use map and rezoning. That condition has been met. A privacy fence shall be installed at the corner of the new development and the existing Autumn Glen residential development to the south. That condition will be met during construction. The applicant shall submit a preliminary plat for staff and planning and zoning approval. We're in the middle of meeting that condition. The applicant shall continue to work with city staff to refine the site-specific development agreement with the understanding that it will be presented to City Council for final approval as part of the rezoning. That condition has also been met. The dead-end fire apparatus access turnaround as depicted in Exhibit C shall comply with the specifications as outlined in the 2024 IFC Appendix D, 60-foot Y, or other turnarounds as noted therein. That condition is also one the fire department, the fire marshal did approve of the current conceptual, the preliminary plat as laid out, but he'll also review it again at site development plan. So that one will be ongoing. Several checks on that one. And finally, the applicant shall continue to work with staff on refining the elevations, particularly the awnings. Those you're going to look at tonight and how they revised it. I'm going to go back a minute to tell you where this property is so you have an idea. It is on the east side of Fayetteville along East Linear Avenue, and it's currently zoned residential townhouse condominium and surrounded by similar properties. This is the approved conceptual site plan. It was approved for 22 residential units, 6 cottages, and 16 townhomes. The preliminary plat reflects or mirrors that same setup, but includes the required setbacks, a curb cut on East Lanier, Central Road with a roundabout, 44 parking spaces, which meets the required minimum, a 5-foot sidewalk along East Lanier and along the internal road, and then it also includes community green space. Those elevations, we have the cottage on the top, the 2-story building, and then on below, these are the original proposed elevations for the townhomes. They have removed this bump out and reduced the awnings to 4 feet. So this is kind of the new look. Staff reviewed the preliminary plat based on the standards set forth in section 315.25 of the UDO and found that it meets the code requirements. It aligns with the strategic and comprehensive plan, and there shouldn't be any interference with traffic along 54 other than during the construction of the curb cut. Therefore, staff recommends approval with the following conditions, with the conditions listed above. And the applicant is here.
All right, thank you. Applicant, if you'd like, you can come to the podium and add anything that staff may have missed.
Yeah, I don't think they missed anything. Good evening, Jeff Collins with DCCM, representing the owner, and Jefferson Brown and the architect team here as well. Just want to reiterate it, consistent with the approved concept plan. Did work with staff and the fire in particular to get the site laid out. Owner developer has reviewed the conditions agreeable to, as laid out in the recommendations, but otherwise we're here to answer any questions you guys have.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we'll open up for public. If anyone has any questions or comments, please come up to the podium, state your name and your address. Please step forward. And there's also a sign-in sheet there also.
My name is Kyung McMartin, and I live in 120 Autumn Glen Circle. My only one question, they're going to put it south side of their property. And my question is, how high is the fence going to be?
Please, you can come forward. Come to the podium.
Yeah. So we haven't finalized the design, but I would anticipate a standard 6-foot privacy fence.
Yeah, see, my husband has skin cancer, and doctor recommended he should have sun rays every day, at least 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and it's all over his body, so he have to be naked. And I don't think a 6-foot fence would give enough of privacy on our house, okay? So I was wondering, could you do it at 8 feet?
Let's come to the podium.
The owner would have to commit to that, but I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be amenable to that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Other than that, I have no.
Okay, would you do me a favor and sign in there at the podium as well, your name and your address? Thank you.
My hands are shaking. My hands are shaking. I just can't go on.
That's okay, I'll fill it out.
Thank you.
I just would like to note that the code does restrict fence height to 6 feet.
The 6 feet is maximum.
Correct.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Come forward. Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Rita Durant. I live at 100, Autumn Glen, which is the first house. These houses are going to be built right behind us, which with that, the townhouses, they're going to look down on our property. So that was one of my concerns. But I'd like for them to explain something that they said earlier where there's a joint driveway between Autumn Glen. We use Autumn Glen to come into Tower Subdivision. So was there something there where you said it would be a joint one? No?
They'll have their own driveway.
Okay, and how many feet away is that going to be from our driveway?
Probably 4 or 5.
Yeah, come to.
I haven't scaled it, but it's probably a good 400 or 500 feet away from Autumn Glen.
So what I'm going to ask is if there's any other questions
Those
that
are
you.
my only questions.
Is that your only question? Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you. I did sign in.
Okay, thank you.
So going back to, there's a code requirement as far as distance between driveways, so they'll have to meet that as well.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none at this time, I'll close time for public comment and bring it up to the dais for any questions from the commissioners. No? No? All right. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I entertain a motion that we approve based on that for the, we've approved the preliminary plats established in section 315.25D of the UDO with the following conditions: that GDOT approval shall be submitted prior to the issuance of a land disturbance permit, that this building square footage of each unit shall meet the minimum requirement of 1,200 square feet when the applicant applies for the building permit.
Second.
Properly moved in second. All in favor? All right, passes unanimously. Good luck. Last on the agenda, I'm showing we will consider conceptual site plan and building elevations from Ho Construction for the kidney clinic. The property is located on Marquise Drive, parcel number 052209-029. It's all your staff.
Okay, so the applicant, who we've met previously tonight, is proposing to construct a 3,000 square foot medical office building on Marquis Drive. The property is located on Marquee, is currently zoned neighborhood commercial and surrounded by other properties with the same zoning. It has a future land use map designation of neighborhood center. The property is 1 acre and undeveloped. The current site plan includes the required setbacks, the required perimeter buffer, and 12 parking spaces, which meets the minimum required parking. The building, I'm missing something. Access will be off of Marquee. They're proposing a 5-foot sidewalk along Marquee and then a 5-foot sidewalk between the building and the parking and the access drive. The proposed building, similar to the other building, it's a 1-story brick building with metal canopy. Like the other, it is using white and black stone wire-cut palmetto brick. The site plan was reviewed based on the standards listed in the UDO, and there's an item of note in terms of meeting code requirements. They are proposing pervious pavement for the parking as well as the access drive. However, the code limits that to 25% of the parking, and it cannot be used for a driveway. So this will be worked out at site development stage. It's just noteworthy because they did ask, does it meet all the requirements? So it aligns with the strategic and comprehensive plan, but like its predecessor, it would align more if it had access points for other means of transportation. The use harmonizes with the surrounding area. There's nothing, it's mostly office buildings throughout that area. However, it's would be considered modern compared to the other buildings. This has got a flat roof, whereas the other ones have a gable roof. This is a minor detail because it is located more than 500 feet from 54, a major street, and it's located on a minor street, so it's tucked away. It's not really going to be noticed. It's less crucial that they all harmonize. So with that, staff recommends approval with the following conditions listed above.
Right, thank you. Is the applicant here this evening? Would you like to add anything? No? Okay, thank you. At this time, we'll open it up for public comment. If you have any questions or comments, please come to the podium, state your name and your address. All right. Hearing and seeing none, I will close public comment and bring it to the dais for any questions from the commissioners.
I have a question. Since it's not something that we usually see is a pervious pavement, and I know that it's going to be worked out because it doesn't quite meet our code, what do we have a material plan in mind that we can know about, or is that not worked out yet?
It would be your standard concrete or asphalt.
Okay. And then the sidewalk that's looking to be connected, is that on the western side of the plat? I see where the sidewalk starts right in front of those 3 parking spaces. Is that where the connection would probably be?
If it's the most logical, I would let them decide, but it would just be to connect.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments? All right. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the conceptual site plan in section 407.17.v with the following conditions: that a trash enclosure for trash cans that shall be constructed on the north of the east side of the building, and the developer shall connect 5-foot sidewalks along Marquise Drive to propose sidewalk between the front of the building and the parking lot.
Second.
Properly moved in second. All in favor? All right, passes unanimously. Good luck, sir. I'm showing that's the last thing on the agenda. Are there any reports, comments, or announcements from staff? No? Okay. At this time, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Vote that we adjourn.
Second.
Moved in second. All in favor? Passes unanimously. Good evening, everyone.